So, good evening guys and welcome to OTL Round 5 Brazil. We start off a little different this evening with Jensen alongside us. He is going to take us on some hot lap, or a hot lap of Brazil. First and foremost, as that is where we are this evening. I think the rain's trickling a little, so this is going to be an interesting lap for sure, as we are plum sacks and forgot to disable the weather. I will do my best to talk us through a fast lap, and Jensen will do his best to keep that Red Bull on track.
Yeah, I don't think the slicks are going to work for this, but I'll do my best.
So while Jensen goes around on his hot lap, what happened last week? So we had a very dominating display from Glock in the desert of Bahrain. I think the pace was very evident from his set off in qualifying. So Jensen just coming into sector 3, he'll be doing everything he possibly can, especially with the rain falling, to get any form of heat in the tyre. With massive undulations across the circuit and some very tricky off-camber and on-camber corners. The track kind of throws everything at you, so he'd probably want more apex there. He's going to squeeze on the power, struggles to get the rear of the car in check as he opens the lap. DRS opens just now. He's allowed DRS, so it's not as wet as we think, so he's going to have to be a little earlier into turn 1, but usually picking your braking about. Oh, his braking's not bad. He managed to snatch the 70 metre board, not bad. Hugged the corner on the inside. Jensen choosing to stay away because in the slippy conditions that'll upset the car. Let the car drift wide and straight towards the end of sector 1. Turn 4, take in the apex, clip the curb slightly, use the outside curb to as much of your advantage as possible. And then probably one of the trickiest corners on the track, a lot of time can be lost. It's about just stabbing the brakes on the gearbox, flick the car in and try and carry as much speed as possible. He's probably went a little deeper in his apex there than he would like. Then this here is probably your trickiest corner in traction, about squeezing the throttle and using the camber of the road. And then another in-camber corner as he falls away, drifts wide. Let the car run to the right and then take as close an apex to that curb as you possibly dare. Drift out wide. Snatch the brakes at 80 metres for the last corner, easy on throttle, use the curb on the outside and pretty much flat out to the line. And I think he's on board for not a too bad lap. So that is, and there you see him hugging the line to the inside. A 15.8, so a rather slow lap for Brazil, but that is a fast lap in tricky conditions. So Jensen, we will move over to the lobby. I will get ourselves in. So that's a big thing I guess we could speak about tonight. Weather could play a massive factor for the guys. We know Brazil is good at flinging up some conditions.
It's quite an unpredictable track, ready for the weather. Anything can happen. It'll be quite interesting if there is a similar situation to that, if people still go out on the dries that early on.
Because I think there, a 15.3 you done, I reckon the inter tyre would maybe have been there or thereabouts.
Yeah, that lap was about in between the cut-off from dries to inters, I reckon. Probably just about still on the dry, but yeah, it just shows it's quite a tricky track in terms of braking zones, really. Few traction zones, other than that it's quite a simple track.
Yes, so also before we start, we should have a quick rundown of the championship. So Enfinelli in first on 83 points. A reasonably comfortable 21 point gap to Glock, but we know Glock is starting to turn up the pace. F1 Sophie with consistency got herself in P3 and 59, M Bundy P4 and 51, Lee Nell and Dr Special Energy in 5 and 6, both in 47, Rocking Kid and Sergi in 7 and 8, both in 46. JB13 and Mad G in 9 and 10, both in 44. Green Meerkat in P11 and 42. JD Savo P12 and 36. Ginger Bush P13 and 36. Jelly Hayes P14 and 33. Ryan Cup P15 and 31. Officer Duffy P16 and 31. Matoman P17 and 30. Mitch P18 and 18. Blood and Sand P19 and 13. And C Pasley in 20th on 6 points. So as you can see there, we've got a very congested grid. 2 guys in 47, 2 guys in 46, 2 guys in 36, and 2 guys in 31. That is pretty impressive after only 4 rounds of racing. And I think it shows testament to just how even and how much of a scrap the mid-pack can be here in OTL.
Sure. Yeah, for sure, man. Like, 4 races in, this close already.
Lee Carroll says I'm... Sorry, Jensen. Lee Carroll says I'm a tight sod for putting you on wet. I know, I'm... I know. I'm sorry. That's all I can say. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I think you missed. Yeah. I think you made the most of the conditions in front of you, Jensen.
Yeah, it's such strong conditions on this game. Wet conditions are.
As I was saying in your lap as well, I think off-camber corners and high kind of speed carry corners on slicks is never going to go well in damp conditions.
Yeah. You have to consider how the weather, if the weather's gonna change, like dry to wet or wet to dry, they gotta be careful on both crossovers, because it is very, very easy to lose the car. You have to be as gentle as if you're on inters or even full set of wets.
And Ginger Bush has got his fingers crossed for a wet race. Oh, after USA, Ginger Bush, I don't know. I don't know. So, Blood and Sand, new driver. Good to see a Saltire on the grid. Fellow Scots, I'm always happy to see them.
I think Blood and Sand did... Pretty sure he did Austria. And I think he did Bahrain. I don't know. He did a few rounds already. Blood and Sand.
Dan, Green Fingers. Ginger Bush says he does better in the wet. I mean, you need to teach me some things then, mister. Because, yeah. I could only describe myself as a in control but out of control boat. And people watch me and think I know what I'm doing. I'm really just winging it in the wet and hoping that the car doesn't break traction. I don't know about you, Jensen, but yep.
I want to see the mix-up of conditions, because we could see some surprises. We might not see the top guys where they're supposed to be.
Let me just silence my phone, that is rather annoying. So I think we're about time, 8 PM on the button. Oh wait, I need to do I need to invite SPW? I do. 1 second. I don't know.
Invite out to him.
I did. I have sent him an invite. Adam, that is my bad. I do apologise. I have sent an invite. He will be able to take a car in quali, so should be alright.
Yeah, he's just loading on the game now, so I think didn't really do much. I don't know. So I'm pretty sure SPW's in the Mercedes, I think, unless that's
Yes.
changed. But yeah.
Give me 1 second, Jensen, in chat, please, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
So, Jensen, I am here. Wet for the end of the race from Glock. Oh, so that is interesting.
In the works, yeah. That could change the starting tyre.
So, Glock, how late in the race? Do you have an idea? Is it going to be the need for a wet setup, or do you think most are going to run a dry setup? Well, I guess we'll find out. We'll see by the pace.
By the end of the race, I think, as you would see, I think it was plus 45 minutes.
Ah, right, I did not see that. I was not here. I am a tube.
So, it could be in the middle as well, plus 20 minutes. So it could be in the middle of the race, and it could be at the end of the race. You never know, so the strategies are really gonna be mixed up.
So I think qualifying in this track is very much about getting some clean air. I think dirty air understeer is your worst enemy here when you're trying to do a fast lap, especially in some of the high speed sections.
I think most people opt in the mediums at the moment, so I think Glock might be speaking correctly there by the end of the race.
So I think X Gamer, oh no, we have, I think Nelly, or Blood and Sand, our lead car. Trying a run on the medium tyres. Interesting to see fuel. See if I can get a little sneak at that on the steering wheel. I think he's somewhere in the region of 5 laps, so possibly not his one and only run. Maybe we see him come out on some softer tyres later. Good evening, Mitch. It's evening to see you. Good to meet you. You were very quiet there, Jensen. I don't know what happened.
Just saying something with the setting of 52.5. Wanted to be the first time of the session. And 9-2 from Golden Sand, that's 9-8. 5. X Gamer 8-4.
And Vinelli 7.5 on his softs.
Great lap.
So to be expected, and yep, that is a solid banker lap for your first run. So that would say to me that Vinelli is fairly committed to 3 soft runs this session. Mad G slots in a 17.1, I think he lost some time off. So Duffy's done a 10.9. Lee Nell slots in a 13.4, so these guys maybe just finding their feet first.
Third across the line, I think he's going to get mid-9 and it's a 9.5.
Rocking Kid slots himself up to P. Well, it was. Ryan got a 7.7 on the mediums. That is an 8.2. So a 7.7 in the mediums is very impressive.
Yeah. Sure of that.
So where is Glock? Glock on his out lap will be interesting. Glock's on the medium, he's just through the last corner, so we'll stay on board with our pole sitter for one lap. And we'll see on the medium, see how he copes through all the sectors. Oh, and he brakes really deep, way down, almost 40 metres for turn 1. Takes good apexes through the centre S's, lets the car drift wide, DRS open, maybe a little distant to. I don't think that's going to impact his lap too much, but unfortunately here he could get some traffic in a section of track that you maybe do not want to have any, but we'll see how it plays out. And he is catching Ginger Bush here. I think Ginger Bush is on some fast running as well, so
we got recline across the line.
This might actually work not too bad for Glock here. SPW goes an 8.2. Glock may actually just get a toe up this back straight. Ginger Bush gets out the way. Glock using as much of the road as possible, straddling the curb to open that last corner. Hard on the throttle, stays nice and tight. And I think Glock's going to be in the 7s here on the mediums as well.
I think it might be reasonable.
7.3 on the medium compound tyre, and Glock has went to another level these last couple of races. So the order as it stands: Glock P1, Nelly P2, he's on the softs, Glock on the mediums, Ryan Cut 3 on the mediums, Senna Martin's P4 on the mediums, Green Meerkat P5 on the mediums, SPW P6 on the softs, Rockin' Kid P7 on the mediums, X Gamer P8 on the softs, and Matoman P9 on the mediums. Then it's Officer Duffy P10, Mad G P11, Blood and Sand P12, Surge P13, Ginger Bush P14, Lionel P15, and C Parsley, Sophie, Jelly, and Dr. Special Energy all still to set laps. I think Jelly might actually be on one. Looks a slow lap.
I was going to say with the early two. We haven't came out track yet. Remember the outside the top 10, they could go for the hard tyres as well, so if it was coming, they could take that risk if it was going to come very late.
And that's the thing, isn't it? Depending on how late the race comes, if you're outside the top 10, it could be a really tough decision to whether the medium will get you there. And if it gets you there comfortably, you'd rather be on the medium. But if it's going to be a struggle in the medium, you're probably going to want to run the hard. So some tough decisions for the guys outside the top 10, as well as, will guys choose to stay in the mediums, or will they go the softs? That to me would make me think if the rain comes hard enough, it's a 2-stop. So just some food for thought.
Yeah, Jelly's on line first sector, 16.6. In that first sector, I think that puts him level with his teammate.
Ginger Bush a couple of tenths up in his time, but it doesn't seem to be using any ERS, so he may be coming in. Mitch, we're doing good, thank you. We are doing well. Hope you're doing well too.
Jelly in the middle sector. He looks quite a bit.
So he's 11.3 up. So he's gone somewhere into the 8s, somewhere between that P4 to P9 mark.
Yeah, an 8.3.
P8, 8.3. Doing his best to get himself way out the way of anybody coming through in laps. Oh, Matoman, is this an improvement? He does, he gets himself up to P4 in the mediums and an 8 flat. So I think he'll be pretty happy with that lap.
Yeah, I'd say that'll be the last he wants to put on the medium tyre. He's already on 2 laps. 2 separate laps of different and Glock's out on the softs. So that'll be interesting. Nelly's starting his lap. With the McLaren, with looking good with the defending.
So SPW 10th up, sector 1. Oh, big group of cars. I think we've got a Renault in that back straight. Is that Dr. Special Energy? Yeah, I'll jump on board the embassy, come through the last corner. He's 3.5 tenths up, going towards the line. He's trying to get himself inside that top 10. Can he improve? Can he find a couple of tenths up the hill to the line? Stay as tight as he possibly dares to that wall. P11 8.3, but P11 might not actually be too bad. Fresh set of mediums. Ryan goes into P1 in a 7.1. But Glock now is on his soft run as he comes through the Senna S's in turn 3 to come on to the first of the DRS straight. So your fast lap, he takes the tight line like myself, coming out of turn 3, holds the curb for as long as possible and then drifts right, clips the apex nice, lets the car run wide, gets on the power, absolutely sweet as a nut. Flick 6, get the car chucked in even, goes down to 5th to get that extra front end rotation. Stay as wide as you possibly dare. It's a weird apex for that corner, you kind of stay on the apex for a long time. Let the car, it's almost a double apex as you come through the bank in there, let the car run up, stay wide, swoop in, drift out hard on the throttle. There's going to be a car on his inside, shouldn't impact him too much. Open the last corner as much as possible. He's purple sector 2. He again will stay as tight as he possibly dares up this main straight to lose as little time as possible. And is he going to drop himself into the 6cc up? He does. 6.6 for Glock. So the gauntlet laid for Ryan Cut in his second run.
Yeah, Rocking Kid's gone up to 3rd as well with 7.3. And Serge put in a 7.6, puts him in 6th. And Nelly's gone into the pits. I think he's abandoned his run.
So we have a Mercedes and a McLaren. Rocking Kid, I think he tried to improve, but he was a 10.5 down. So the McLaren boys have been starting to find a little bit of consistency. I think they're always there or thereabouts, threatening that top 5. I think just as a team they've been quite unfortunate with incidents, one car not finishing and one is finishing. So hopefully this is them announcing their start of a charge on the Constructors title. Because the two McLaren boys seem to just have a 10th or 2 on everybody else. And then again though, there's probably tenths to find for every day, and we have all of the top 10 in the 7s, and then the battle just outside the top 10 every day in the 8s. It could be quite interesting.
Yeah, X Games just put in a lap.
Yeah, gets himself 7.5. Look how close. 7.5, 7.5, 7.6, 7.8, 7.8, 7.8. 6 drivers between 2 tenths, 3 tenths.
It's been so close.
1, 2,
every single race.
7 drivers, sorry, within 3 tenths. And the bulk of our top 10 within 6. So X Gamers on an in lap. Jelly maybe, I think he may be on a fast lap. We'll stay on board as he comes through sector 2 to see if he can improve. Car trying to step away from him, but he keeps under control. Oh, and he's very up. So he's plunging himself into the mid-7s here. Gets out the last corner very well. Can he get himself right up inside that top 10? Could be somewhere between P4 and 7.
Maybe 7.2 I reckon. And 7.3.
And he gets himself to P3. 7.3, so I was way off the ballpark. He gained another 2 tenths through the last corner in his original time.
See how's the other one, so they both came out very late. And suppose this one was that on the soft F1 simply on the medium player.
And Sophie looks like she's committed to just one and only run, so that looks like a commitment of, yep, I'm going for one run, I'm going to see where my medium takes me, and I'm going to try and get this tyre to the rain and only take one pit stop.
Yeah,
And if she gets herself inside the top 10 here, she could be in a very strong position.
Senna is in the middle sector, pushing the car. I'll tell you what, Senna is on maybe a 106 just. We might be on to field level with
Only got a toll from Jelly, just a little one.
I think there's like just down in there for P2.
7.1 in P2, I think you'll be pretty happy with that. Get back on board with Sophie, she's twisting through the middle sector. Two McLaren boys back out for their laps as well.
Ryan cuts down the lap. And
Sophie's going to get just a nice distance though, sorry about in there, Jensen, as she comes up the line. Staying as tight as she can as well to save time. She's just probably a little wider than others, but to the line she goes, and an 8.2. And look at that now, we've got 13 of our 14 drivers all in the 107s. We've got a very competitive group in our hands here. We know Sophie would be definitely in that 7s group if she was on the soft tyre. Dr. Special Energies probably, I think we could see almost a full grid on 107s.
Yeah, Gingerfish coming out on a medium tyre. So I think he's just coming out for a long lap, just try and get up there, but not into the top 10. So I think he wants to go for a hard start.
So, McLaren boys, are they improving? Ryan Cut to the line for his last run of the session. Ryan Cut goes P2 in a 7.0, Rocking Kid to the line as well. He has bumped Senna down to P3, can he get up beside his teammate? Not quite, he was way off the time, he may be going for another fast lap now. Green Meerkat's been disqualified for the session for facing the wrong way. Vinelli lighting up sectors in sector 2. Mad G's coming to the line, can he improve? He was a little down in his time and he pretty much matches his fastest lap so far. Do we have anybody else to the line?
The Green Meerkat, that's just cost, he was in P7, so that's either going to be a big be a big loss for him or a big gain for him, depending on what we go for this car and off.
So SPW is a 10th up. A 10th will find you a good few positions here if you can keep that 10th and gain a little more. You might get yourself up close to that top 5. P8 7.6. Only a 10th away from being inside the top 5. Senna's came out, so I don't think he's going to get his lap in, unfortunately.
Oh, you never know. I think the timings, it depends. If the checkered flag
10 seconds. Oh, I don't think he's going to get the sector.
Jelly's just going to make it.
And was this Glock on his fastest lap? Yes, it was. Glock is a little up in his time. Can he get below the middle of the 6?
And there is still time.
Sees, can he get there?
I think Sam
and Glock improves to a 106.5, and I think that's put him on pole because Senna's Jelly Hayes is not on a lap either, so he's not trying to improve. So I think Glock's took another pole, and by another big chunk, half a second to start the lap. X Gamer's a little up, he's a couple of tenths up. Can he get himself inside the top 5? Yes, he does. P4 on a 7.2.
Yeah,
where else?
Nice to start the lap.
So we have Senna and Surge on lap. Surge coming through the last couple of corners. He's a 10th up. He'll be looking to get himself inside that top 5 if he possibly can.
I think he might pick up P8 if he gets within 20 could beat Nelly.
Oh, and that's a big corner cut. And 7.5 and P8 Senna Martin, the last man on track. Oh, just as we pick him up and he's had a moment and dropped the rear of the car. I think we've got Jelly Hayes on a lap. But no, he's not on a lap. I think he's on an in-lap. So I think that will be qualifying. Jelly's going to go to the line to save the game, waiting for him being put in the pits.
Yeah, we're just waiting for Senna now.
So Glock takes pole, Ryan Cup P2, Senna Martins P3, X Gamer P4, Jelly P5, Rockin' Kid 6, Envinelli 7, Surge P8, SPW P9, Ma G10, Matoman 11, Officer Doofy 12, and I've lost the list.
There you go.
C Pasley 3, P13, Lionel 14, Bloodsand 15, Sophie 16, Special Energy 17, Gingerbush 18, Green Meerkat 19. Oh, and no, sorry, Green Meerkat is P19, unfortunately disqualified from what I think was P7. So he unfortunately starts at the back.
Would have been P9 if he didn't get disqualified, so...
So, the guys will go on a 5-minute break. They started this last week, just to grab themselves drink, toilet, whatever they need to do, a cigarette if they're smokers. And then we will go, so I am going to jump for the restroom myself. And yes, I will be 30 seconds or so.
I'll be so as well. Okay, so I'm back. I don't know if Chris is back or not, but yeah. Only a few more minutes left until formation up gets underway.
Hello, Jensen, are you here? No.
Yes.
Oh, yes. Jensen is here. So, in Brazil in league races, what kind of things can it serve up? I don't want to say incidents, because that's not what we want. I think you can get some good racing here. I think the track will allow some side-by-side racing if you've got two very compliant drivers.
Yeah, it's quite a wide track actually. One of the wider ones in the calendar. So
with a big run on the main straight into turn 1, if you get a DRS toe on a guy, you can kind of line up a move through the Senna S's and have a good run into turn 4. So there's, turn 4. So there is definitely opportunity for overtakes, and then we'll see. The OTL boys know how to do some racing, so we maybe even see some side-by-side action in that middle sector, which would be pretty impressive. Unfortunate, obviously, not to see Mitch in the grid. Catching up and some rest, some well-earned rest.
Deserving rest, for sure.
I wonder if he's still watching. So, is is Matoman in? Oh yes, they did get invites, that's fine. I was pre-seeing a late message. Oh, and we have a session start. So, it's... Do we have any guys inside our top 10 on the softs? Let's see. We don't, so it's a full top 10 on the softs. Matoman P11 on the mediums. Officer Doofy, the only guy on the track trying the hards. Now, he's going to have to be really careful from the back of the grid, so Green Meerkat means some business. So that'll be one to watch in the opening lap.
So, I think it's definitely going to be coming this rain. I think it's going to be coming in between the mid part of the race and the last quarter of the race, maybe.
Ryan cut disconnected. He has not. Maybe he has.
He is ghosted. Yeah, I think he has.
So hopefully he can get back in and take control of his car. He should be able to. Glock says Ryan cut disconnect. He's like, oh, I have a chance. Let's break away. It's unfortunate, but sometimes in league racing and Cody servers, that's just how the cookie crumbles at times. And he's definitely not back in the car as yet. That's definitely an AI controlled car.
Yeah, they're open to the grid as well now.
So to the grid Glock comes. I think it's your lights out, Jensen.
Is it?
I think so.
I thought I did it last week.
Did you do Bahrain? Alright, I'll do it this week then. I will do it. You can keep eyes on the rear, and I will try not get sidetracked by any incidents and just focus on the fighting, and you can pick that up.
So just to know, most of the people outside the top 10 are on medium tyres, so I don't think hards are necessary until rain. I think the rain's going to come early.
So that would make me think that Officer Doofy is praying that it comes a little later than expected, and I'm hoping here that I'm not really sure what's going on.
I think it's just waiting for...
That was a long time on the grid.
As usual, Cody's just waiting for loading. When people should be starting.
And I'm just wondering if the Ryan cut disconnection has broke the lobby.
We'll experience this for HR, I'm pretty sure. So,
yes, because that lobby looks very frozen.
Yeah. Not looking good at the moment.
So, I will just do that. I will do this for Adam just in case they need that.
I think they will.
So I do think, guys, bear with us, but I do think this could be a lobby restart. Yeah, Stephen. Oh, I'm seeing a predicted pit stop strategy. That is very late. I think it is broken. Are you guys driving? So I suggest Ryan Cut tries to leave, but you cannot start the race on these tyres now. It'll be absolutely horrendous. And I just got an error on mines too.